Welcome to the BOREDinDE podcast. And now your host, Tucker.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Tuck from BOREDinDE, and today I have a dear friend, Jasmine, aka the Bar Chef. What's going on, lady?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, fine. We ain't making no noise over here. Well, welcome back to Delaware. I know we ain't got
Thank
that
you.
West
Thank
Coast
you.
weather, so you had to pull out the coats and stuff.
Yeah, but it's always good. I like the layers.
All right,
It's
so
hoodie season.
Let me start off with this. What made you leave Delaware?
Um, I was doing all right at the time, like financially. I had a little good job. I was bartending for a couple years, and I was just always I wanted to like branch off. Um, been going to LA like my whole life. I have family there, so I had the opportunity to go with a good friend. She lived there for a couple years already, so we just jumped at the opportunity. The timing was good before COVID hit, unfortunately. So I had nothing tying me down. My parents and my family were supportive, so I just took the leap. It was a good time until COVID hit, and things became a little crazy, a little strange, but it was an experience, and I took the best out of made the best out of what I could while I was there. So out of all like the circumstances that was going on, because it got tough.
Yeah,
And I made
now,
my little travel to Arizona.
but but you left Delaware to go to Cali, and you said you're in Arizona
hmm
now.
Then
Yeah.
I went to Arizona for a little bit during the summer, which that was a different experience, and I loved it. So I'll take Arizona over California any day.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I have a
It's
college
beautiful.
buddy that lives
It's
down there, and
beautiful.
he said he's never coming
Yeah.
back. He loves it.
No, Arizona, there, it kind of reminds you of being here in Delaware. It feels like home. Um, the cost of living is around the same.
Okay.
You just get better weather, better scenery. The moon, the sky, the mountains is awesome. And if you go up north, it gets cold. So some places have snow right now. I know I was in Scottsdale, and I think they're still hitting like 90 degrees right now, and I'm so jealous.
Yeah, because we
So
got you
yeah.
down here in 42 and 45
It's
degrees. We
cold,
freezing that
but it's
ass.
beautiful. I love the fall time. I was excited to come back home, especially for the holidays. So I'm happy to be home regardless of like what's going on
Yeah,
outside.
because your parents are still here, right? And your
Yeah, this
brother
home
is out
state.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Sap is still there, so he was just here for his artist Zuki. This past weekend she released an album, Zuker G, and we had a
Okay.
listening party for her on Market Street at the Studio Market.
Okay.
So it was a pretty
Yeah, I
good
used to work
time.
out of
You know,
there.
I did some drinks there, so yeah, so it was a good time there.
Well,
Yeah. So I love
congratulations.
that
Yeah.
studio. I like what the guy did out of there. It was a
Yeah.
pretty like it was nice in there. So
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Definitely nice. Now,
Mhm.
when I met you, you were doing some modeling. And
Yes.
when did the jump from modeling to bartender happen?
Well, I kind of just eased my way out of modeling. It was just like a smooth transition. At the time, I was kind of like going through like a lot in life, and I just couldn't keep up with modeling and doing the go-sees and going to New York, and I just felt like it wasn't in the cards for me at the time. And I felt like if I wasn't going to give my all in something, I'm just going to have to just focus on something else. So I went through a phase where I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a job for a couple of months, and I had went out like on a random date. This guy took me to New Orleans and Old Newcastle, and we sat at the bar, and it was my first time there. And the bartender there looked at me, and she was like, "Do you need a job?" And I'm just like, "Is it written on my forehead?" Yes. So I went in like 2 days later, I got hired, and they wanted me to start on the bar, and I trained on the bar there. They just gave me just an open experience of just learning how to be a bartender, how to be creative, but just still learning how to do it the right way, having fun with it, but not over pouring, you know what I'm saying? Not just making any kind of crazy drink and thinking people gonna like it. So it really gave me an opportunity to grow with the couple years that I worked there. So that's what really got me into it. And then another place came and stole me. And then that's when it really took off from there. And it gave me an opportunity like, hey, I can really see myself doing this. I started doing, we did a little bit of catering. So on the side, I would do like small anniversaries and birthdays. I did a couple weddings on the Strand, and it really just opened up. I'm just like, I like doing this. And my parents kind of got a little history with catering too, where they like,
Okay.
cook and do things like that too. So, and my dad was a bartender. So it's kind
It's
of
in the
in the blood
blood.
a little bit. Yeah. So my dad's like, whatever you feel like you want to put your heart into, you're all in, go for it. You good at it. We went through it with my brother. It
Yeah.
takes a while for you to, success doesn't come overnight. You got to just keep going. So, you know what I'm saying? So this kind of, I'm kind of trying to build myself up from here. So that's where it's starting at. And that's what California helped do for me too.
That's
Being, kind of like down and not working as much
hmm But that's what's up though,
and trying to
because
do
I have to
stuff.
say, I have been following you on social media heavy, and I
Hmm.
love the work you put in. Like, you don't come off bragging. Actually, following your stream could be educational because you always share the
Hmm.
ingredients. You always share like befores and afters, and I love how
Yeah.
you put the final touches on it. Like, you just don't mix something in the glass and be like, here. You know, it has a
Yeah.
presentation to the point where like I don't even want to drink this. I just want to take it home and put it on the shelf.
That's what a lot of people say. It's kind of a way of me maybe kind of separating myself because I feel like a lot of our mainstream markets are saturated, especially with a lot of black owned business. Everybody's going in, for something for themselves right now, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
all for it. So it's like, how do you separate yourself from what the next person is doing? So I know that people do make drinks and they sell drinks and they sell them a certain type of way. So I just wanted my presentation just to come off a little bit different, based off of what I follow on Instagram and drinks that I like to drink when I go out to different
Right.
cocktail bars. Because that's another experience that I love to do. I love to go to do, like speakeasies or find like bars. I don't care if they hole in the wall sometimes, but I like the good joints where you go and you get like a good classic cocktail. Sometimes people don't want to spend a couple dollars,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes it's worth it when you really get the experience and how drinks are being made now. It's like a whole different experience. So,
Right.
and I see like Wilmington's growing on to that too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I love about it as well. So it's like coming back home won't be so bad because we didn't like have much of that when I left. So it grew within the year and some time I was going. So I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because you really do
Hmm.
got a flair. Because the only other person I could say I had met and that had a flair is my girlfriend. She does bartending, and
Okay.
she gets creative like that and everything. And
Hmm.
I had to tell her, I was like, yo, you gotta get your shit together. Cause I'm putting Jazz on the podcast, and I know you don't want me to put her on there before cause I'll be sleeping on the couch. But she know you family, cause we look at you all the time. Cause I have a picture of you up on the
Yeah.
wall and everything. And I
Hmm.
just love how you put your effort. Like, you put effort into it. It's
It takes a
something incredible.
lot. It's behind the scenes, it is a
Hmm.
lot. And yesterday really proved when you really do things as like a content creator on Instagram and you really gotta go into depth with like how you post things. Like it's a lot that goes into like just doing a simple drink, depending on how you are as a person and how you want the quality of your picture to come out. I'm very, very picky. So I don't like for the glass to sweat. So
Hmm.
you make sure you gotta have your shot set up right. Your drink could be prepped, but don't put it on ice just yet. Make sure you get the light just right. Make sure you got the garnishes ready because when it's time to flick, it's time to flick and get those shots. So hopefully you can get to the drink before it get all watery. So
Spoken like a model that's been in front of the camera. She know what she's doing.
yeah, you gotta go in real quick and just get those touches because just like I don't like the sweat, I don't like the glass of sweat either.
Now, I
So,
will
hmm
I will say this that I'm a drinker. Excuse me, always been,
hmm
and I love mixed
yes, no,
drinks.
you have good
Yeah,
taste. You really go
yeah.
for like the darker things, right?
And I'm a whiskey drinker, whiskey, scotch,
Yep, I know
bourbon.
you are.
And the thing
hmm
that I like about you and people like my girlfriend is that you really know how to make a drink. You're not like a Coke in a shot type person or a beer in a shot type person.
No,
Because I go to some
once in a
places that's all
while,
you can get, but then I've been
yeah.
to places where I ask for like, can I get a old fashioned Manhattan? And the person's like,
What?
and I'm like,
We don't have those ingredients. I've
right.
I've had those experiences too, and I hate that. That's just like they looking at you like you crazy or you bougie or something. I'm just like,
And then
I
you
know you're
looking
here
like
to
you
just
got
drink.
all the ingredients, they're right there.
Yes, but
I'm,
that kind of separates like the bartenders from like the dive bartenders or like
mm,
your really detailed mixologists, people who really go into, you know what I'm saying?
hmm
There's a difference.
it definitely is because
hmm
a matter of fact, let me tell you a funny story. Me and Kim Briscoe was hanging out probably about 4 or 5 years ago. Good friend of mine, and we went to
Okay.
this bar. It was supposed to be urban upscale. Fine. So I go in there and I asked for an old fashioned. The woman had no clue, so she pulls out her phone,
Mm.
look at it. That's fine because it's a lot of
Yeah.
drinks out there. I have no problem, but at least she went and looked into it. Ken asked for a martini, and you would have thought he said that in Greek. Because she was like, I don't think we have the ingredients for a martini here. And now, when me and Ken hang out, Ken Ken's he could be a smart ass, but he
Okay.
didn't go there on her like that. He kindly told her and pointed out what she had, and he had to basically stand over her while she made the drink because she had no idea what a
Understandable.
martini was. And after
Understandable.
that, we take our drinks and we go to the other side of the bar, and he's like, "Upscale urban, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah," and we laughed about
Well,
it.
how was the drink?
My drink was okay, and Ken, I think his was okay. It was like I said, this was about 4 or 5 years ago, but I just remember it
hmm
because both him and I went there to talk to the owner about doing some promotional stuff. Because I was still taking pictures, and Ken was helping business owners, build their brand.
Okay.
And after that, we kind of just finished the drinks, paid our tabs, and we went elsewhere and stuff.
Okay.
And sadly, the place didn't last too long after that.
That sucks.
But
But that's one thing that I do like as a guest or a customer that you know what you like to drink and you know what's in your drink. Sometimes people will come up to you and be like, "Can I get a such and such?" and don't know what's in it. I'm just like, "Well, I'm sorry, I haven't heard of every drink, but if I ask you what's in the drink that you're asking me for, you should know what's in it, or you shouldn't be drinking it." So that's one thing I always like. I have people questioning themselves sometimes. Like, don't just be drinking anything. Like, please know what's in it. Please know what you're drinking because
so
you
you a
never
teaching
know.
bartender.
Yeah, sometimes, like, yeah, I'm like, because I'm like I said, I used to like older people, but like when you get younger people coming in, they be asking for all these like crazy drinks and like crazy shots. I at least expect you to know what you're drinking and what's in it. Like, just don't ask me for something and then I tell you, you be like, "Oh, I don't like that." I'm like,
But
"You
you
asked for
asked
it
it.
though." Exactly. So that saves me and you both some time.
Hmm. But
So yes,
Nora Lee's gave you your start. Nora Lee's is actually a nice, cozy place. I went there a couple
it is.
times, and their bar has that nice, cozy feel. So, shout out
It
to Nora
does.
Lee's for birthing the bar chef.
Yeah, it's been a while, so I wonder if they're still doing good amongst all this, because a lot of restaurants around there are like mom and pop, but
Right.
they really do well because a lot of the locals like to go there and give all their money.
Yeah,
So
cause
yeah,
when you started doing bartending, I was still ping
Mhm.
ponging between here, Philly, and New York. And
Yeah.
the one time I tried to go see you, they was like, Oh, her last day was the other day. She moved out west. I was like, ain't this some shit? Ain't this some shit? I came
And
to
then I
that
be just
bar
like,
to see you, and the girl was like,
just be,
yeah. But we had good food there, and
just be going with
actually,
the wind.
yeah, actually, a neighbor of mine was working there, so he looked out and stuff. So it was good. But
Okay.
like, I'm gonna just pull up your Instagram real quick, and I was just checking it out, and I'm like, yo, I seen this drink, beautiful, and I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
that's
she got
very
that outside and
interesting.
everything.
I'm trying to work on that right there, that Branson cognac thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
When I worked in Arizona, I worked for a comedy club called Stand Up Live Phoenix. And we had a lot of great guests come through, but one was DC Young McFly, if I say that right.
Okay, yeah.
And he and 50 share the same, like a couple of the same managers.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a crazy weekend, and a couple of my parting gifts were some of those Branson bottles that were left over in the room. So I was like, "Hey Chanel, do you mind if I like take these bottles? I love to make some content with them, and hopefully we can work on something." So that's what one thing I'm trying to work on. So, and that's a really good cognac as well. So you gotta try that one,
And
and
a
it comes in
message
at least four different varieties, but it's really nice. It's good. It's smooth.
and a message
Hmm.
to y'all Hennessy drinkers: there are other
Hmm.
cognacs out there.
Please,
There are
no
plenty
disrespect
of
to
it.
Henny, but yeah, I like the Henny, like the VSOP, but I'm not a big old like Henny drinker. I like it in the punch where you can't taste it as much. But
Okay,
yeah,
and then we got this drink right here.
hmm that was a
This one,
fun one.
it
Yes,
looks
that was
it
one of
looks
my fun ones.
delicious. And I was
Yes,
peeping out the
I think that was a Bramble. Yeah, that was like a cool coaster that we had around the apartment. Just, like just fun stuff. We had like a nice white counter. So, boom, nice background. Make the drink stand out real quick. So,
now,
that was
now,
just like a fun little drink I threw together.
now, tell me about this one here.
I called that the Hail Mary.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like pineapple juice. I also threw like some cayenne pepper in there. It's an egg white finish on top for the added foam. It's vodka base, so it's kind of like spicy, and then it has like a mix of like a I don't know if I pronounce it right. Is it like Tajin rim? That like spicy, like people love that spicy like new red stuff. I think it's like
Oh, TAJJIN,
yeah, I
something
have
like
a
that.
hard time
Yeah.
pronouncing that sometimes. Forgive me. And that's that rim on there. And I'm not a spicy drinker, but like I said, I was playing around with that one and just taking just like random house ingredients just because it was the middle of like Corona. I couldn't, get my hands on everything I wanted. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking around the kitchen like, I'm bored. What can I like chef up today? While I can catch the sun really
Yeah.
quick. So that came about really nicely. So it was actually really yummy.
Now this last one right here,
Hmm.
the sparkling blueberry old fashioned
Old
highball.
fashioned. Oh, that was
Boy,
fun.
I saw them blueberries. I was
Hmm.
like, yo, I need that in my life. I
I
need
got a
that.
thing for making blueberry syrup, so that
Mm.
was a really like fun like spin to put on, especially an old fashioned where you just don't have to do like club soda or like water.
Hmm.
So, and it's still very strong as well. So it's a pretty good drink.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have to try to link up with you and get you to come over because we got plenty of alcohol here. Like I said, she's a bartender, so
So you probably
uh,
got a good little bar over there. You got a bar cart.
yeah. Well, actually, we're working on it right now. Just the bottles are stacked on one of
Hmm.
my old shelves in the kitchen and stuff. Cause
Oh,
we
that's
just moved.
fine.
Yeah, we just moved here in July, so
Oh, nice.
we're
Congrats.
yeah. Thanks. We're just getting set up and everything. But I love your work. I love your work on Instagram, and I it's
I'm
just
trying to
I
get
just
better.
I'm like little Jazz Munchie is making drinks.
Yeah, I'm always going to be munchy. That's always going to be me. But yeah, just I don't know. I actually love it. It's like I love it more than like modeling. Modeling was cool too. You know how
Mm-hmm.
like we all go through phases, and I got in that off of like a whim, and that was cool. But this is like it's a lot that goes into it. It's like it's a form of art when you look at it, and it's like it's a whole different world. I see like people do like competitions, and I'm not gonna say I can't ever, but I like flaring. Flaring is pretty cool when you watch certain videos,
Hmm.
and hopefully when we are able to travel again, I want to go to like Japan because they have like over there, like Tokyo, they have like some of like the best like bars over there. So especially when it comes to like whiskey and like sakis, and I'm like getting interested in sake too because sake's
Forget
good.
that. Tokyo got the best
Hmm.
nightlife. Cause you
Yeah,
go over
that
to
too.
Tokyo's and you think you back in the '80s or the '90s, the way they play hip hop and soul music. Man,
That's
you'll
cool,
forget you're in Japan. So yeah,
man.
I feel you on that trip. Now,
Yeah, it's a lady I like on Instagram. Her name was Beautiful Booze, and she would tour around. She literally lives out of her suitcase, and I got like really inspired off of like what she does. And she's like one of your like Instagram friends you never met, but like I talk all the time.
hmm
She's like so cool. She has great content. Of course, she's verified. She flies around, so she did like this crazy tour and like a bar tour. She did a good one in New Orleans as well. That was super nice. So I look at her and I'm just like, that's where I draw some inspiration from because she does some fly stuff.
cool, cool. I can't wait till you start putting out
Mhm.
bar chef merchandise. Some shot glasses and stuff. You know,
That's coming up. I mean,
cause
with the way the
we got
pandemic
our little
going,
shot glass.
it's yeah, it'd be hard to order stuff depending on where you get it from.
Right. Right. Well, I can share
So
some stuff where I order some stuff from and see if it works out for you. Cause
I
always
would
keep
love
something
that.
at the desk.
That's so you are right. Yep, I was going to say I got a little drink. Cheers.
But yeah, I think it's just incredible because like it seemed like when you left Delaware and you went to California, it just seemed like you just took off. Like I always think that was your element. To be out, to
Yeah.
be around people. Because you always been a great people person, and you always been
Hmm.
friendly and smiling. And then just to see you as a bartender, I'm like, I know she cool as shit as a bartender. My
Yeah,
God.
it's fun. You know, it's an experience. You're a therapist. It's
Hmm.
depending on where you work, so your personality will definitely guide you where you fit in the bar world. So whether you work at a club, a hotel, pub, I don't
Hmm.
know, a lounge. There's so many different elements to it. So, but your personality will definitely take you far in the game, especially if you really know what you're doing. And overall, confidence is key because
Right.
I mean, like, it's always kind of all eyes on you. Somebody's always watching you do something, and it kind of turns into a show sometimes. So, I don't know. It's a lot. You can't be shy. I don't think so. And you really I don't like smart ass bartenders either. But sometimes, you get those snippy ones. Sometimes we get a little attitude.
Oh, I
But
know you give it right back.
yeah,
I know you give it right back.
sometimes, but you gotta kill them with kindness at the end
Hmm.
of the day. That's what I've been kind of learning as I've been getting older. Because you'll know what somebody goes through. And I've had a hard day when I worked retail, and my first stop was I got off and I sat at the bar, and sometimes they already knew what I wanted, slide it right down the bar, right in front of you. So, I kind of sometimes just turn the other cheek, and sometimes the person will turn around just, no matter what. So
Now,
I've had
having
different experience with that.
been a bartender here in Delaware, California, and Arizona, how would you say how people run their bars is a little bit different? Because I know here in Delaware, I know my girl hates it because a lot of places want the bartenders to share tips, especially if it's a big bar or something
Hmm.
like that. And in California, I always just been a drinker. I never really had a bartender friend over there
Yeah.
to ask them. And Arizona, I haven't been yet, but now that you there
Hmm.
and my boy there, as soon as this COVID stuff break, I'm on the next thing smoking.
Yeah. Well, for me, sometimes I just think it's like the establishment and the team itself. But most places I've worked at, we've never really pulled tips because I've been a host, I've been a server, I've worked in the kitchen, I've done it all, So especially working at mom and pop restaurants, you kind of pull your weight when it's needed in certain places. Um, But as far as being a bartender, we kind of like low seas in a way, you know what I'm saying? Um, because we're kind of like taken from the servers, even though like we are making your drinks. I've worked at places where sometimes we get like 10% of your tips at the end of the night. So I'm making a hefty chunk of what you making, but the drinks are pricey. It's a whole different thing. That's why they always say tip your servers in cash because you do get like double taxed on the thing. It's just it's a whole mess sometimes, but cash is great, even though cash is becoming really nothing these days.
Yeah,
So
everything
yeah,
is a swipe and pay, or
yeah,
contactless pay and everything.
mhm,
And I was wondering how that would
yep,
work out with the servers and people that get tips and stuff like that, getting taxed double time when it's not in
yeah,
cash. But who carries
yeah. I
around
mean,
cash,
yeah,
especially with COVID? People like everybody's a
mhm.
germaphobe.
It's dirty, yeah, and it's dirty. But then again, it was kind of like funny because some places kind of only accepted cash, and then some places didn't accept cash. But I would kind of expect you not to accept cash or whatever the case is. But I mean, due to COVID, people did tip a little bit better than usual. Support your local bartenders or your favorite restaurants.
Word, word.
Because even everybody needs a little support. What goes around supposedly comes around, but I understand that everybody kind of needs to eat. So
I get it. Now,
if
now,
people
now,
don't
Arizona.
tip, it's a
Now,
big thing when people are like, especially when it comes to go. It's a big debate on like whether you tip to go or not. You know what I'm saying? So I think COVID kind of changed that for folks, just to
yes.
support people. But yeah, I can't.
Now, Arizona, do you have a bar that you're working at now, or you're still floating around due to COVID?
Well, I'm on pause now from being at the comedy club from being back home because I'll be here for a couple months just due to COVID and the cases going back up. Arizona's went up a lot. I've read because I still kind of follow here and there, so
Hmm.
that's kind of going to be put off. And I kind of there I was kind of by myself, so here I'm more with family. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I'll just kind of relax here at home and just keep the focus going on here.
Right.
My scenery kind of always changes. I'm always kind of moving around, always readjusting, always changing. So this is just kind of another phase that, we're all going through at the same time. So
Now, what was your biggest
just trying to stay
obstacle
positive.
as becoming a bartender? What was like the hurdle you had to get over becoming a bartender?
Um, California taught me a lot, and California hurt your feelings too. It's about over there. It was kind of about like who you know in a way, but it's very competitive there. And the one thing that did drive me there is because of my experience of all my years of going there. And I'm not going to say it deterred me from never going back because I'm definitely going to go back. But people tell you like you say you belong somewhere, and when you get somewhere and reality like hits you, it was
Hmm.
very hard for me to find a job there at first. So it was a lot of like no's and driving like half an hour, 45 minutes to get to this interview, and you think it go great and you don't get it. And
Hmm.
sometimes it's like a waiting game. And it kind of sucked versus being here in Delaware where I kind of never had a problem with getting a job.
Right.
So I kind of carried that attitude with me when I went there, and I definitely like got smacked down to the ground real quick. And reality set in, and bills ain't waiting for nobody. So Target came in and saved your girl's life until
Hmm.
something else picked up. And I'll forever love Target because that was a crazy experience and going through that through COVID and being an essential worker and then finally getting a job because things were like going to be normal and then the shutdown, which kind of
Right.
like stripped me out of everything. So yeah, that's the one thing. I can say home always like treated me good. It's
Hmm.
like I say, it kind of sucks when you say like you got to know someone to get in somewhere because, it kind of is true. So it's always good to have a good rapport, a good reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like don't burn your bridges because you never know. So That's kind of how I like to kind of carry myself, especially like in this industry. So, and
That's a
coming from
great way.
LA, a false reality over there. So I know a lot of people over there who have a different sense of reality than what we actually live, you know. So yeah,
That's definitely a
a
good way
wake
to
up
be.
call.
Because I know
Mm-hmm.
with me, it's certain bars that I only go to when I know the bartender I enjoy
That
talking
too.
to is there.
Yes.
Like I'll go
Yes.
to
People like
somewhere
that.
totally different if my favorite bartender ain't working. And it's not they're not
Mm-hmm.
my favorite bartender because they give me more, but they're my favorite bartender because I rarely have to tell them what I want to drink. And
Mm-hmm.
one spot, as soon as he see me coming in the door, he already got my pint of Guinness waiting.
Yeah.
Like he already know.
Love
Like
those.
and he knows that.
Those
And
indeed are the best.
they're definitely the best. And they can
Yes.
sense when something's on your mind, you know, because they just seen
Yeah.
you at your highs and your lows. So they
Mm-hmm.
and it's not like you're confiding to somebody you don't know. After a while, you build a relationship, and it's like you
Yeah.
become friends. Now we may not do family picnics or nothing like that, but he's still a
Yeah.
friend and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's great about bartenders, and to be a bartender slash mixologist with a wide knowledge of drinks, not, you know, oh, I only know how to make drinks with Ciroc in it, you know, Ciroc pineapple, Ciroc this,
Mm-hmm.
and this. Then you got some people who be like, well, I only know certain cognacs. I know Hennessy, I know Cavazier, and stuff like that. When
Mm-hmm.
you got somebody that know different brands and different drinks, it's a beautiful thing. Cause I know I
Yeah.
walked into this one bar in Philly, Hop Sing Laundromat. It's like a speakeasy. It's
Oh,
one of the
so that
best
sounds
speakeasy.
cool.
It's one of the best speakeasies I ever been in Philly. And let me tell you about this
Okay.
real quick. You know, I know this is about you, but I gotta share this real quick. When you
No, that's
go,
fine.
there's no marking on the door. It's just the door. You knock
The
on the
door, okay,
door.
it's one of those.
One of those big Michael Clark Duncan dudes come out and be like, how many in your party? He'll look and he'll be like, wait right here. He'll go back and this little Korean dude to come out. At least I think he's Korean. He'll come out
Okay, little
and he'll
tiny
look at
dude.
you and he'll ask you, how did you hear about this place? And
Ooh.
you'll tell him. And if you drop a name, it better be a name that you really know because he
Mm-hmm.
knows his people. Like when I first went, I was like, yeah, my coworker Rob dropped it, and I just happened to have my phone, and I showed it to him, showed him a picture of Rob. He was like, good peoples, you got to turn your phone off.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. Then
Okay.
they got this list of house rules: no photography, no cell phones, no loud conversations, all cash, no credit, all cash. So when you get in there, it's just plush. It's
Ooh.
like velvet, like the couches. It's like you almost want to kick your shoes off. And when they make the drinks,
I
it's
want to go
all fresh
there.
ingredients, all fresh.
That's what I'm
Like if
talking
your
about.
drink got some lemon in it, those lemons will squeeze. Orange juice, it will
Yeah,
squeeze.
that's me.
Lime juice, it will squeeze. Like nothing
Mm-hmm.
comes in the bottle.
Out the
And
bottle. Yeah,
and
that's what
even
I
though the
believe in.
drinks are pricey, like
Mm-hmm.
they run anywhere from $12
They
to
worth it.
$20. They are so good, and they're
Yeah,
filling.
they're
It's
worth
not like
it.
they're skimpy
Yes.
drink; they're filling.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to have like 30 of them to get something. Like you get your second one, you like, oh, I'm feeling nice and everything,
Yeah.
and everything's fresh, and they make it in front of you. So which that makes it a little slow, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
I mean, because in the line of service, it's like, you know, when you sit down, you get greeted, you get your water, you get your drink. It might take a couple minutes for your alcoholic drink to come out, especially if you do go to like a special cocktail bar, because they require several more ingredients. Some might be stirred, not shaken. So, you know, it depends on how many ingredients got to go, how busy the place is. So you do like, but for you to get something quality, I feel like, you know, it builds up the momentum. So I
Right.
always hope it's worth it every time somebody has to wait for a drink, because it sucks when you have to wait and then you get a drink and you're like, what is this? Send it
Mm-hmm.
back. So
Yeah, that's the
I
worst
can
feeling
I
in the
can
world when you
understand.
got to send
That
a
place
drink back.
sounds so cool though.
Yeah. Hop Sing
Yeah,
Laundromat.
no.
I'm not sure how they're doing with COVID, but if you Google them, you'll
Okay.
see some stuff. And another one right here in Delaware's backyard is Hummingbird to Mars.
I've
Very
been
cool.
there like maybe twice. That
Hmm.
place is very awesome.
Yes.
I love that place. So I hope they keep up their business. So you
Yeah, I
know what I'm
think they
saying.
had
I
a
know
couple
it's a
things
little
going
fickle
on.
right now.
Yeah, I think they had a
So
couple things going on during COVID and everything. I mean, it's already a small place, so
yeah, so
that
their
place can get
capacity
filled
is
real
pretty
quick,
small.
especially if you got a good
Hmm.
band there, well, good piano player and
Yeah,
singer and everything. So,
that is
what's
true.
up next for you? You know,
Um, well, I just bringing some new, fresh new content. Like I said, just getting readjusted to being back home. I am working on bottling up some of these great juices that I create, or cocktails. So hopefully I can get those out. So, like I was telling you, I'm just working on finding out how to get certain products and labeling labels and stuff like that. So
okay,
when it comes to that, so that's one thing that I'm working on, making sure that I really like the drinks that I'm giving out. So what I want to do is basically just like how you see these pictures on Instagram. I
hmm,
want you to be able to create that in your home. So I'm kind of giving you like an experience in the bottle. So that's what I'm my next jump right now.
cause your
So
presentation be on point,
hmm
and I'm like
yeah,
looking at this stuff. I'm like, yo, if she was to do
hmm
something like some flashcards with the picture of the liquor on the front, you flip it on the back, you got the
hmm
ingredients and how to make it. Sell it like you selling like
you
playing
already know.
cards.
You already know you want to. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
So
boy,
yeah, like
I'm
I said, I
telling
want to
you.
give you an experience in the bottle. I'm not going to say it's not hard, but
Hmm.
it does take time to do anything, especially if you want it to be your best. Like when I dehydrate the fruits, every time it's not perfect.
Right.
But now I'm getting adjusted to doing it. When it comes to syrups, everyone is not perfect. I experiment. My favorite one that I made thus far for the first time was this cinnamon apple one that I put in that Branson cognac.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, Tuck, that is a good one. So
Mm.
like I said, it's an experience. So when it comes to me making these drinks, I want you at home to be able to make these drinks. So I've been getting a couple of people that have been asking me like, "Hey, are you interested in you like doing some cocktails for like we're stuck at home?" So
Mm.
I've been trying to find a way to keep it creative, but keep in mind everybody doesn't have a lot of money, including
Hmm.
myself. So I'm not
Right.
out here buying all the name brand stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still giving you a quality drink.
Hmm.
I'm not giving you nothing that's gonna give you a headache either. You know what I'm saying? But at
If
the
you gotta
same
use a
time,
real,
so when,
you gotta use real liquor. You gotta
yeah,
use real liquor.
yeah, but it's like I said, it's different. It's different levels to the
Hmm.
liquor. So it's always going to be like my favorite one. Of like I'm not gonna say it's like a real tequila, but over Jose Cuervo, I like salsa. If I
Okay.
want to get a little fancy, I might do Casamigos if I like you that much because I love me a Casamigos. But when it comes to a bourbon, Jim Beam is really good for a good price. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can get that in good flavors. It has a good proof to it. Even Jack, and I love Jack's Gentleman Jack right now.
Hmm. Oh,
That's
that's good.
pretty good. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite ones. I was like, man, that's one of the best ones they put out. So I'm just like, that's definitely, like I said, when it comes to it, vodka, I'm getting on vodka. Vodka is a hard one for me because I don't really drink vodka, but vodka is a pretty easy one to experiment with. So I try to kind of hit all four um, categories when it comes to making cocktails. And we all know like scotch is just scotch.
Right.
And that's not one of my greatest ones at the moment either. But I'm going to brush up on him soon. So,
Well, I wish you all the
yeah,
best because I've been a
thank
fan of
you.
you since. Wow, I think we met in '08. I think.
Yeah, you got a little
Yeah.
history.
Cause you know what? Even a picture popped up with me, you, and Sarah doing one of her many fashion
I love
shows,
those
and I'm like,
memories.
wow, we used to really,
We did a lot of
we had
stuff
a lot of
together.
fun.
We did. We
We
did
had a nice little
definitely.
run, and I'm so proud of you. You doing your
Yeah.
thing, and I was dying to
Thank
get you on
you.
here. When I heard you was back in the area, even though
I'm
I could have did it
excited.
over there, but with the time difference, it would have been crazy. But having you
Yeah.
back here, it's like wow,
I'm still
because I
missing
didn't want to
that.
catch you when you was on your way to work,
Hmm.
But I gotta ask you about this drink right here. Hold
Which
on.
one?
This one here.
Strawberry. Oh, that was just a strawberry margarita, honestly.
But I like how you did
Just
the strawberry.
just made with the strawberry. Just made with homemade strawberry syrup.
What rind
Cointreau,
is that?
tequila.
Is that like a lime or something?
Um, yeah, it's actually because I
Or a
like to play
kiwi?
with my garnishes. So I like to experiment. Like I could make like flowers out of like strawberries, and if you take the time, like I say, you can make anything look good. So,
Hmm.
the lime grind wasn't working well with how I had the picture set up. So I don't know. It just slipped on there and it clipped, and it's just like dusted with like some. I think it was sugar, or it might have been. I think it was sugar on there.
Okay.
But I don't know. It just came out really interesting. But garnishes really make the picture pop. So it'll be a couple times where I might gotta grab the tongs and flick it and play with it a couple times before it gets just right. So yeah,
Now this
and
picture
then
right
all
here
garnishes are
is dope.
edible.
This picture right here is dope. I like that. What you're
Oh, the
saying, Rhea.
sangria.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Uh,
That was our kitchen counter. Just great lighting. The
I'm
sangria
like,
I made
you
the first
staged
time.
that
It came out
perfectly.
good.
Perfectly.
It was a good sangria. I think that was like maybe the beginning of COVID. I think
Hmm.
maybe so. We sipped on that. We watching,
Yeah, it looked like it was March
CNN. Like,
16th.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yep,
So
that was
what's your
definitely a
go-to
fun one.
drink when you out? When you out with your friends and you're not the bar chef, you're just Jasmine. What's your go-to drink?
Um, when I'm not being like crazy fancy, I'm gonna probably always maybe go with like depending on how I'm feeling. I'm probably start with like maybe a whiskey sour. Um, I love Jameson as like in my whiskey sours, or if like if it's a good bar and they know how to make a good mule. I love Irish mules because I love ginger beer. Just something about them, they're really good. But always Manhattans, and the way different bars make Manhattans now, especially if you know how to make a good one, they go a long way, because it's just straight liquor right there.
Well,
Hmm.
I know you got some big things coming up, and I'm definitely gonna be on your heels, checking it out and everything. I want to thank you for coming out, spending some time
Thank
with the
you.
old fella and stuff. It's so good to see you, and I
It
hope
was
we
my
can get you over
pleasure. It's
here.
awesome to see you.
So we can get you over here. You can meet my lady, and y'all can do what
Definitely.
bartenders do when y'all get together. Get everybody else drunk and
No, we
everything.
could definitely do that. We can create some content. It'd be great to collab on something. I'm
That's
willing.
what's
I'm
up.
down.
That's what's up. Now, real quick for the people that are going to end up listening to this, like we'll have a video and then we have the audio. Tell them how they can
Hmm.
find you.
Well, I'm on Instagram. Well, it's actually it's the Bar Chief. So, Tuck. So it's on Instagram at the Bar Chief.
Okay.
TheBarchief.
Hmm.
And that's where you can see everything that I have going on. I'm still working on a website at the moment. So I need a little bit for that. But, of course, just like Instagram, I kind of put everything on there. So working on some reels and working on getting more like video content out as well instead of just, doing pictures so people can really see what's going on and, see a little technique or, I'm learning how to do my flair a little bit.
And
So, yeah.
and while you're here, are you going to make yourself available for events or something like that? If somebody wants to do something, they could just contact you through
Absolutely.
your Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I've been trying to do. Because I also have the bar chief at gmail.com if you wanted to reach out on there as well for any questions or DMs as well on there. My big page. I try to keep my pictures on there as maybe
Hmm.
tasteful as professional as possible.
Okay.
So you probably see me as minimal as possible on there, but it is like my product, my service page. So you can see everything on there. If you like, I have other pictures that I don't post. So if you want you want a little book, I can give you everything you need. I can give you quotes and like on how to do things because I usually work by myself, but I do have my mom help me do some things as well. So she's like the backbone between me and my brother with doing events. So
Okay, that's
yeah,
what's
I'm
up.
definitely down to start doing that again in Delaware because there's always something going on here. So absolutely.
Well, Jasmine, dear, welcome back. We love
Thank
you
you.
and everything.
I
And
love you
we
guys
definitely
too.
link up because you said you're gonna be here for a couple months.
Yeah, I'm gonna be here, so
Okay.
you know I'm gonna be around.
Well, I'm
So we
definitely going to
definitely do.
extend the invite and have you come over
Hmm.
and watch y'all two collab and stuff because I know I recorded her earlier, so I'll be putting
Okay.
y'all episodes almost like back to back. So I would love
Okay.
to get you around, and plus I'm still good with the camera and some video, so hopefully we can go ahead and take some footage and everything like that that both of you guys can use. But
Okay.
I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I love you, little sis. I missed you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for hanging out with
Absolutely
the
love
big
you
homie.
too. Thank
And
you.
we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, if you haven't already, visit BOREDinDE.com and the new BOREDinDelaware.com. Because people was like, was BOREDinDE.
Hmm.
So I went and got Bored in Delaware. So you can go
Okay.
BOREDinDelaware.com and get to the site. Join the mailing list, follow us, be up to date. We drop new podcast episodes every Thursday. We're not doing something this Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. Also,
Can't
stay on
wait.
tune for the new podcast where I'm talking all about me and my adventures, life according to Uncle Tuck. That's coming to you real soon. And until next time, this is your man Tuck, Bored and DE. Ladies and gentlemen, have a good night. I see, Jazz, that was it.
Oh, that's cool, Tuck. I see
Yeah,
you doing it.
yeah, that was it. That was it. And stuff.
I like
So
that.
what I'll do, my producer will take this, he'll edit it up and everything, and
Okay.
I'll let you know when it drops. It's gonna be it's available where all podcasts are streamed, iHeartRadio, Pandora,
Okay.
Spotify, all of that. The video will be
Okay.
on our YouTube page, which we're starting to build up and everything.
Oh
And
yeah. Okay. So sorry I look a little rough, but
hey,
I
it's
get
all
a little
right.
beauty makeover on Sunday, so I've been like, you
It's
know,
it's
I'm gonna
perfectly
go back
fine.
to my little pixie cut. So
It is
I'm gonna
perfectly
get my
fine.
hair cut and stuff, get back things together.
Well, I want you to have a good night, and I will be in
Thank
touch.
you, Tuck.
Keep posting them pictures,
Absolutely, it was a
baby.
great. I will. You gonna, if you like what I posted, you gonna love what I got coming. So I
That's
ain't
what's
gonna
up.
let you down.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
All right. See you later, Jazz.
All right, bye bye.
Bye.
Okay.